Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with another video. It's quite late here in the UK. It's 1:15 in the morning, but being a night owl, apparently that's what most creatives are. But anyway, I thought I'd make a video, but hopefully I'll be relatively coherent. Anywho, yeah, I hope you're wherever you are, and as ever, I would love to read your comments. But yeah, this is basically, I'll try and make this as quick as possible. Short and sweet and get to the point if I can. But I would love to, I'll say, if you can comment any of your thoughts as usual, as I normally wish for. But basically, sorry for being lazy and not checking this out. But a while back, there was a terrible air disaster. I think it was around the 40s, 1940s actually, so quite a long time ago. But actually, it's probably nearly 100 years ago, think of that. Well, not quite, but anyway, there was unfortunately a terrible air disaster. So yeah, probably going back around 80 years or so ago. I think it was in Turin, but yeah, it killed unfortunately everyone on board who were involved in Torino, the football club Torino, as far as I'm aware. If I get any of these facts wrong, again, please forgive me for not reading up on it in more detail. But if I get any of these facts wrong, please let me know in the comment section, as I say, so we can share that information. But yeah, so I thought, obviously you can't go back in time and you can't really make up for it, but I thought it'd be interesting if FIFA, UEFA and whoever else, and I probably left this quite short notice really, because it is technically the 4th of May today. So I thought, as it was the 4th of May all those years back when this terrible event happened, I thought, what if FIFA, as I say, and UEFA and whoever else encouraged, not only allowed, but also encouraged investment into Torino, maybe enabled them to bypass financial fair play rules or something like that from this day. But again, I probably planned it as usual, a bit too late, like I normally want things happening so quickly. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting if from the 4th of May 2023, which is technically today, although I've started this video early in the morning, but to promote that idea, what if Torino were allowed to get investment from as many companies as possible, especially, say, Tata from India, Toyota from Japan, and Tesla, which I know I've talked about before in videos where I've covered both on Facebook and on YouTube, where I said, what if those companies, going on alliteration that begin with T, but maybe just lots of companies generally on the 4th of May could be able to have shares in Torino, so compensate them for that negative thing, I suppose, turn a negative into a positive. But I'd love to hear what you think about this idea, like if you think it's a naive idea or vision of mine. But as it's the 4th, as I say, and I'm not tired enough to sleep yet, I thought I normally have these cat naps, and then sometimes they last a bit too long. Instead of an hour, it ends up being 3 hours, and then I struggle to sleep at night and force myself to sleep at night. Having so much caffeine, including especially in my tea, doesn't help. So I probably need to get some more decaf again, so I can just hopefully push myself to go sleep earlier. Also, drinking like ginger beer probably doesn't help it either. But as far as I'm aware, ginger beer doesn't have alcohol in it. I hope. I don't drink alcohol, but it is just a fizzy drink, I think. I know it's called ginger beer. Anyway, but yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about that idea. I imagine Torino fans would be happy to see that idea formulate, to see investment in their club. As a fan of Italian football generally, I'd love to see that sort of thing for Italian teams generally, to see the best possible managers, coaches, players, and that kind of thing in Italian football. And also, I'd love to see like youth development and things like that. Another thing I thought of, however, slightly off topic from the title, is I'd love to ask Italian football fans or Serie A fans generally, like, who would you like to see in Serie A, especially those who are like me, fans of Italian football generally. And I have this quirky thing which not many football fans have, which is like to be a fan of, let's say, Italian football generally, in my case, as well as Celtic. But I'd love to read from Celtic fans and Italian football fans, Serie A fans, about like who you would like to see in Serie A or Celtic, at Celtic respectively. So yeah, from Juventus, Torino, Inter, AC Milan, or any other Italian team, Lazio, I think I said Juventus, didn't I? So Sampdoria or any other Italian team. I'd love to hear who you would like to see at your club, or who you would like to see in Serie A generally. Napoli is another team, of course, which looks like they're going to win their first league title in so long, the third in history, I think. But yeah, who would you like to see in Serie A, and yeah, what are your goals for Serie A, or dreams for Serie A, and or maybe your own specific club? And Celtic fans also, so I'd love to hear who you would like to see signed at Celtic, like yeah, whoever you would like to see signed. Um, yeah, if you could imagine someone like Mbappe or Haaland ever going to Celtic in the future, but hopefully not when they're too old, perhaps. But I'd love to hear what Celtic fans think. Like, if you think that they would just be mercenaries, or they would, yeah, just go in for the money, or whether you think that they would only go to the league when they're too old, like to play for Italian football teams or Celtic, respectively, and therefore we wouldn't want them when they're too old. But yeah, if they're in like at least at an age where they're not, I think they're not too old and they can still run, um, and play as well as possible for the team. Or do you think they would gel well together as well, having so many good superstars in the team? Could it be a team full of superstars, but not a superstar team, if you know what I mean? Like, could it be that how do you put it, the parts are greater than the sum of their parts, or something like that? Yeah, so if they don't gel well as a team, if you have too many prima donnas, but I'd love to see like a dream team in Italy. Like, I've often talked about in the past, like how I'd love for Roma, which are nicknamed the Giallorossi, if I pronounce that right, to become the new Galacticos, or the next Galacticos, or Genoa, because they begin with J, like just a little going back to my alliteration. But maybe like Juventus, I'd love to see like if they got wealthy owners like the Qataris or UAE. Owning Juventus, I know I just talked about Torino, but being a bit mad, or being very mad, supporting all the Italian teams as well as Celtic. Yeah, people say to me, how can you support all the Italian teams? Like, what about when they play each other? But because I'm not so interested in what they do domestically, I'm more interested in what they do in Europe when it comes to Italian teams or internationally. That's why I can support them all. But yeah, it'd be interesting if like Juventus could get Pep Guardiola to come, and like Zidane as a head coach, and former players to be club brand ambassadors, similar for AC Milan. If they could get Ancelotti back as well, like, and he could bring back experience they had from, or he has from running Real Madrid. Like, he could teach AC Milan, pass those skills on to AC Milan, like what he's learned from Real Madrid. And yes, so former players for Italian teams, like being ambassadors for the club, for the clubs that they represented, respectively, like Kaká, Ronaldinho for AC Milan as well, and that kind of thing. And also, yeah, being youth coaches as well. Yeah, I think enough waffling for this video. So yeah, I'd love to. I did say I'd try and keep it short and sweet. So roughly 8 minutes. So I think that's a fairly good time. Anyway, I'd love to read your comments. So please don't hold back your feedback. And out. Peace and love.